Hi, this is B from Sorcery Soap, as you probably already know. And I know, on a soap channel, why would you be looking at coins? Well, because this video is about mold making, not about coins, but the idea I have is to make some coins in a mold for the possibility of making a soap with gold coins on it. So I'm going to show you the whole process. Now, the process of this was I started thinking I want a unique coin, not just a shape, but I want a coin for the top of my soap because I have a theme that I'm thinking about. We finished watching the whole series of American Gods, and Mad Sweeney we really liked. Both of us really liked him, and he has this gold coin that he flips in his hand all the time. So I thought, oh, that would be cool in soap and just have a bunch of gold coins on there. So then it started to build into, now I'm going to teach you how, or at least show you how I make a mold. And then I pulled out all my coins. These are not all of them, but some of them. And I started looking through them, and I thought, well, this is for me, this is interesting. So I thought I'd share it with you, and then we'll move into the coin part, the building of the mold. So I ran across some of my coins. I collect them. I don't know where they come from. They just show up. Oftentimes I find them on the ground. And so these are some of my cool coins. None of these are worth very much. They're just like maybe 10 bucks. So I'm not that kind of coin collector. I just like the interest. It's like a little piece of history. So as you know, we don't have coins made of actual minerals. What's the word I'm looking for? Metals. We don't have coins actually. Like this is a silver coin. And here's the thing, I used to be a jewelry maker and I know a little bit, not very much, but the thing is that in order to have a coin, you couldn't possibly make this out of actual silver. It has to have an alloy in it to keep it hard. Otherwise it'll just wear away because silver is really soft material. So there's an alloy in here, but still, this is an 1879 coin. And it's $1, 1879. I think about that and I'm like, how many people have had this in their pocket? And it has a Greek goddess on the front, which is really cool, and lots of detail. And in order to have all this detail stay, because see, here's the other thing: every time you rub a coin, you wear just a little bit of it away, and so this, if you can see, this is a fake coin. It's just a representation of money. It's not actual money. And that's when, well, there's a word that starts with an F and the second word starts with an R that I'm not going to say because that's dangerous in our censored society, that we don't have actual money anymore. And they decided that copper was better. That's copper. You can see here. It's a copper color. That's a copper, and it's got a plating on top of it. So that's a pretend money. That's actual money. And I know it doesn't mean much because we work in electronics right now, but it does. It means a lot. So I can give you a pretend version. I could give you a little paper piece that says this is soap, and it's not going to do you any good in the shower. Or I can give you actual soap. So we're talking about another level of truth here, but whatever. So anyway, so this is a 1907 nickel, actually, and it says V for, I think, victory on the back, and it's so worn. You can see how worn that is. Now, did you know, I don't know if you knew this, but some things, I think this is tin. So this is 1943 wheatie. Who doesn't like to collect wheat pennies, right? And this one is a franc, a Belgian franc, I think. And here is an Indian head, 1897. That is crazy to me. That's another wheatie, but it's an Indian head. Again, not worth very much, but it's made out of copper. We're pretty clear on that, right? We think, a penny is not worth much, so we'll call it copper. And that's interesting because if you think about that, it should be this much weight of this much value. But we already started substituting and saying pennies aren't worth much. But actually, this is worth this much weight of this much dollar in actual metal. That doesn't make any sense, but we did it from the very beginning. And then this one here, I think, is also silver, again with an alloy in it. And this one is 1928. and it has Statue of Liberty on the front, I think, but she has a shield, so that can't be quite right. I can't tell, actually. I'd have to look it up. But it's interesting. E pluribus unum. It's interesting. Okay, so we're going to put those aside. Those are just like some of my personal coins that I think are fun and that I like to keep and look at. But these are the ones I was thinking about making. And so I had to look all these up, so I'll tell you what they are. I thought they were really fun. Of course, this one is just 1968. It's just old with JFK on the front. Makes me sad to look at. I gave it a little shine. Makes me sad. Anyway, 1957. It's a pretty old coin. And this one's weird because it has like something etched on it. Like it etched the silver off of it. And you can see the copper in it. Well, you probably can't from the camera, but you could see copper in it to make it hard so it lasts. And then we have these odd shaped ones. I had to look this one up. It says George the Sixth, King, Emperor. Oh, that's a little creepy, but whatever. This is says India, Anna, 1/2/1944. So this was a British coin in India, which how I got it, I have no idea. And I love the shape of it. I think it's kind of a cool shape, but it's not what I'm looking for the mold. And then this is an Israeli coin, which again, I was like, what? How did I come into that possession? They're pretty honest about it. They're like, yeah, this is crap metal. Here's the piece, and here's the other piece. All of it's crap, just representation. None of it real. All pretend representation. Okay. And then this one is also George the Sixth. It's all Latin. Don't know. On the back, 3 pence. Australian, I think. This one is Australian and this one is Indian but it also could have, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Indian because it says India on the back and it has like, I don't know, Hindi or Sanskrit or something on the back. Okay, and I don't know what those flowers are. If you know what those flowers are, I'll look it up. You don't have to tell me. And this one I thought was really interesting too. Couldn't figure that out. Oh, I said that, Frank, already. And again, here's another one. How I got all these, I don't know. Halfpenny, 1/2 penny. Which is really interesting because if you think about that, right, it's called 1/2 penny, right? And this is a full penny, 1922 full penny, or half penny, okay? And then we have another wheat penny, and this one is 1955 D, which are a little bit more rare, and that's part of why I kept that. And then this one is, I think, a franc of some sort, Republic, oh yeah, Dutch, Dutch. And 1972, don't know why I kept that. It's got a wheat on the back. I think it's a pence. No, maybe a franc. I don't know. And then this one here, I don't even know how I got that. Chinese. Interesting. Oh, and this one here, Thai, I think. And see, the interesting thing about this coin is that there's no indication in English what it is, which I was like, wow, some of these, like, you know, they have English and they have other languages on them, but they also always have like a number on it so you can identify it. Like if you don't speak this language, you just look at it and go, I have no idea what that means. You just know by the shape of it and the weight of it. So that's interesting. So I was thinking for the coins, I don't know if this will work. I don't think it'll come through in the mold. That one's too worn, but it is quite nice. So we're going to make the molds. I think I'll use this one, and I'll use this one, and maybe one smaller one. That one could be controversial because it's got an Indian head on there, and you know we can't use that word anymore, but I will. It's not meant. It's not, there's no ill intention of it, you know? There's no ill will toward it. So I don't like it when people control my language. It's silly. I'm not a mean person. I can make those judgments for myself. So anyway, so let's make those 3. I think that would be good. And it would be a good example. You can see how that works. The rest of these, I'll give a little toss back. Coins, that's it. Coins, representation of value, money. It's interesting to me. I have a bunch of them. Oh, I know I was going to show you too. Now that we're digging through there. Ready? Kazam! Look at that. Can you see? That's me as a little kid. I have a couple pictures. I have very few pictures of me as a little kid. But that's me. I remember that cameo and that silly ruffle on my shirt. I remember how bothersome and scratchy that was. And I didn't like that one either. I didn't like that shirt, but it was better. So silly. Anyway. Okay, enough of that. And now let's get on with the making of this. Let me put some of this away here. I don't know, do you guys collect coins for any reason, or what do you think about them? I think they're kind of interesting. Okay, so now I have a gram scale, okay? We'll turn that on. Now, one of the places, so I thought about for a while trying to make molds for y'all, but it just is, I can't scale it exactly. And the quotes that I was getting was not, they were retail, unfortunately. And people, I don't know, it just wasn't my path for sure, because I just can't do it myself. I'd be spending all my time making molds and storing them, and that's not so I'm kind of glad I didn't do it, because now we have the stencils and I'm really happy with those. Okay, so this, I'll show you, it's called Silicone Plastique. I talked to the owner of this company, very nice guy, by the way. He created this process and he was explaining to me about it, and he let me, I think it's make your own molds, MYOM, okay? And there's a couple different kinds. Now this is the one kind that you can make a mold pretty easily. He also has the pour, which I've used. The pour is, you have to make it, it's liquid, and you pour one part in and you pour another part in, and then you mix it up and then you pour it so that it seeps around this. This is gonna be for just a small amount, okay? So let's do this guy first. Anyway, I talked to this guy. He's really cool. This is all food grade, by the way. So here's what I do. I kind of weigh it out. So I go, okay, it's about 3 grams. So I want to do at least twice that much, maybe a little more. So let's do 3, 6, let's do about 8 grams and see how that works. Because I can do it again. It's not that much. So, okay. And this is such a little delicate scale. You can see how little bitty bits of it. Okay, 398. So we want just a bit over 4, but we want to put equal parts of that in. So we want 8. Yeah, just a tick more. Yep. That'll do. Okay. So, and we mix this up together. And that blue, like it'll get under your fingernails so quickly. Let me move this aside. Okay. I was just going to show you this, because if you just want to make like 1 mold or 2 molds, it's just inexpensive, you know, and it could really help to understand how you can move your soap creations in a forward motion if you feel like doing this without, you know, it's costly to get molds. I have drawers and drawers. I have hundreds and hundreds of dollars of unique molds, and I'm grateful I have them. And, you know, we make them and use them a couple times, and then we move on to something new. Okay, so that looks like it's all very mashed up. Oh, and this takes about 4 hours to cure, by the way. So this is just how I learned to do this. Okay. Okay. So what did I say? We're going to do the penny first. I'll do the wheat cent over here. And it's only going to be one-sided, so. Now we can't make it too thin on the bottom. And then I take the lid. This is just the lid of my scale. And I want it flat on top, like this, so that when I scrape it off, it comes off flat. And see, it made a dip in there, which is weird. So let's do that again. And I can actually just start this over if I wanted to. It's like, yeah, I have lots of, see, I don't like that. I want it clean. I might have to end up cutting that piece out like that. It doesn't look right, right? Let's start that over. Get that out of there. And see, that's going to be like soft. That's not going to be a really clean. Maybe I'll put the Indian head on the other side. Let's try it again and see how we can do this. Because I don't want it to I want it to be like, I want it to be smooth around the side so it comes out. So let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. You see, I don't know if you can see that what I mean by that. And then taking it off is a little bit tricky. Because I want, when I scrape the soap dough off of it, let's see, that looks good. I'm going to leave that for what it is. Now I can't touch it. If I want it to be exactly like that, I cannot touch it, which means I'm going to have to move around. We'll do it again. We'll do a different one. I don't want to bang it. Okay. I should have put it over there, but that's okay. That's okay. So, yeah, so I just leave that and let it cure, and then the penny will pop out. And so what I'll do is I'll show you one more, and then we'll leave it be, and then I'll film when I pop it out so then you can see. So let's try this again. I don't think I need quite so much of that, right? So this is, now don't you find that interesting? Like this is probably should be an even number. It's 479. Now did X amount wear off of this? You would think it would be 5 grams, like 5 grams of silver, right? So it's 480, right? Let's see what this one weighs. That's 610. That's so weird. Maybe I'm not calibrated correctly. Huh. That's very interesting to me. Well, it's relevant to what we're doing. So what do we say here? 4. So we want like 10, 9, 8, 9. No, I'll put like, I'm going to do 8 again. So 4 of each part. A little bit more because it's going to be a big circle. Okay. See that little bitty piece? That's pretty sensitive. It's hard to get right on the money. So you come pretty close. So that's 396. And I know that this, I got some blue in here. Okay, so I want 8. 8's the goal. See, that blue just comes right into my nails. Oh, a little bit too much. A little bit too little. Bingo, there we go. Okay, so you don't have to get exact. Exact is great if you can do it. I got all that blue. I'm gonna have blue in my nails all day. Okay, here we go. Set that aside. We're gonna do this one even though it's worn. I'm still gonna do that one. I like the V for victory, if that's what it is. Maybe it means, oh, I know, it means 5. 5 cents, right? V for victory. I'm so silly. It means 5 cents. Okay. Okie doke. So look at that. I might want to do this on camera, right? So that you can see what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's give it a go. And then I'm going to leave this. I don't want to bump that other one. I'm going to leave this for the rest of the day. And then I'll come back and film and show you what that looks like. And we'll put some soap dough in it and see how it all turns out. Okay, there's a little speck there. I don't know what that is. It must not be, let me get that out. Must be detritus. There, because it didn't. So when I first started doing this, I couldn't figure out how to make them nice and neat and how, you know, and uniform in the way that I like them. You see what I mean? Like where the top is flattened down. Yeah, I think I like the V on there. Let's try that and see if that works. Oops. Nah. I think the face. Okay, here we go. I can do it over. Okay, so some of the things I look for in a mold is that I want it to be flat on the surface. So you see me use those molds so that when I scrape it off, I don't have that lip. And see, now I get that lip. And I see, you know, you could buy these molds. People do the exact same thing that I'm doing, only they do it at scale. At least some scale, some form of scale on Etsy, and you get all these little custom molds, and that's very cool, and I'm grateful for all that, except that they don't make, they just do it. You know, they don't know what the intended purpose is for it. So there aren't any for soap dough. And what I've seen is that, see, I like it to have a lip on the, okay, I'm just going to leave that for a second so you can see. I like it to have a lip on the outside so that when I put the soap dough in, I just scrape it off, done. If it doesn't have that lip, it has a, like a rounded thing, then I got to futz with it, and I don't like that. So that's part of why, am I going to get that off? Yeah. That's part of why I knew what I was looking for, and let's see. And I knew what I can make, and I thought, oh, I could work with a manufacturer. And I'll just tell you the truth of the situation is they thought I was a dupe. The one guy I started working with, he's just like, I'm like, dude, I know what it costs to make these. Like, yes, I'm asking for your skill, but I'm not asking to be ripped off. And that's exactly what he was trying to do. He's like, he thought I was easy mark. And so he kept saying, well, what would you pay for these? What would you pay for these? I'm like, it doesn't matter what I would pay for them. What are you charging me? Just tell me so then I can make a decision. And he wouldn't do it. And so I knew he wasn't of any kind of integrity and that I probably would never see my product. So I just took a hard pass on it. And everybody else is like, when you try to make them to scale and they make little ones like this, it's just like, they don't want to deal with small time people like myself. That's why, haha, here we come to it. That's why working with the stencil company that I'm working with is such a blessing. So, I mean, it really is a blessing. They're just so awesome to me. And so I could produce stencils for you all that you could just like, you don't need to go through all the headache and hassle that I've gone through and all the design problems and all this and that. And I've overcome tons and tons of stuff. And you think about all the things I overcame just to make one stencil, let alone hundreds of designs. It's mind-boggling to me that I was capable of doing that. So with that said, it's like a blessing in disguise that this didn't work out in the way I thought, you know, and I invested, you know, I still have, this is my second go. I think I have more of this stuff too in the back because I've made tons and tons of molds for myself trying to work it out if I could actually offer molds for you guys, for the soap makers in general that like to do the kind of thing that we do. And I realized I couldn't. I was a little bit sad about it, you know, I was a little bit distressed by it. And then I just let it go and started working on some other ideas, and the witches came, and you know, I did Harry Potter stuff, and I did the Wizard of Oz stuff, and I did a bunch of other stuff, and then I sort of circled back around trying to make things simpler because I had gone so far into the detail that I thought, well, I can make things simpler, and went back into the stencils, and then there we go. So I won't let this run on because I have more parts to show you. So let's leave these cure, and I'll give you a time frame of how long I left these to cure. Okay, so we're back after, let's see, it's 5:45 right now. We're about ready to go on our hike, hopefully. It's gonna rain, but I think it'll be fine. And I let these dry all day. So this is what they look like. I haven't unmolded them yet. And here we go. Just barely. Okay, so you can see there's a lip here. And we're going to give these a try, by the way. They're very shallow. So maybe I should make them a little thicker. That one, we'll see. Okay. So I'm going to use yellow on these. Put these aside. We'll see if the experiment worked, because it's all trial and error, as you all know. Okay, so, and I don't have the, okay, so let's see. We want to dust it with just a little bit of cornstarch. I'm a little nervous. I'm always a little nervous to try these. I don't need that much at all, right? Probably want a flatter. Let's see what we have. This could work. Oops. quick, aren't I? Okay, so they're a little stiff. I could make them thinner. Yeah, I could. Well, this one's sticky. Rats. Double rats. Okay. I'll fix that. Maybe I need a firmer dough. I didn't put enough cornstarch on it for sure. That's not going to work. Okay, let's give it another try. Okay, plus my soap dough is a bit sticky. It's not as firm as I'd like it. Yeah, it's not deep enough. It's too shallow. Now that is pickle. So what I probably should do is take 2 coins together to make it as thick as I want it. Okay, let's see if we get that out of there. Plus this soap dough is a bit sticky today. This helps release it. Yeah, see how firm that is? Like in this case, I think I needed a bit more shallow. Not enough cornstarch. Rats. Rats, double rats. Okay. Let's try something else. Maybe I just need a different type of soap dough. Definitely don't put detritus in there. Okay. It is quite the tricky thing. Okay, let's see. Ah, that looks like it might come out. Am I right? I just want to see if I can get it out. It's not enough cornstarch. God bless America. Let's do it again. One more time. Okay, let's give this a try now. See, this is a bit firmer. An experiment. You get to witness it. The molds came out okay. I'm not unhappy with them. I think I can make them work, but I think that they need to be, see, it's a definite question mark. Okay, let's see. That's coming off. Yeah, my soap dough is a bit sticky for this process. Okay. I'm not unhappy with it. It doesn't come out any, not super pleased with it either though. It doesn't come out because the reason I'm not that pleased with it is because I can roll these out and use a fondant cutter just as easy. And probably make them a bit cooler than that. So anyway, not an entire failure because you get to see how to make a mold and ideally what a mold, but you can see how shallow it is. I don't know if you can see the, let's see, can you see that in there? You can kind of see it, but it's pointless because you're not going to be able to see the detail. So I must need to make detail. Let's see. Make detail. I must need to make detail. Let's see here. This will stick to my wonderful coin. Yes, I did spray these with alcohol. I don't know it matters that much, but it might. This is gonna stick. I could feel it. I could feel it. Yeah, it's not gonna come out. Psh, bummer. Bummer. Oh well. Yeah. However, there's something kind of interesting about that. I don't know that I care for the fact that it's like wonky, you know, because in order to get it in here and then scrape it off, it's going to be super, super thin. And I think what I'll do, now that I made all these silly molds, I mean, granted, you got to see what a mold looks like, how to make it. It's not ideal by any stretch. And what I think I'm going to do is roll these out. I think the idea is sound. I just have to figure out how to execute it. So I think what I'll do is roll these out and then make coins out of them with a fondant plunger and then dust them to make coins. So we will see. But thanks for watching. I hope that the mold part helped you. And please leave your comments and questions below if you have any. Okay, thanks.